How's it going? I hope you are doing just as good as I'm doing. This was an insane workout. Now, you're going to watch this and probably think, nah, that looks pretty fucking basic. But I really want to get into this, so we're just going to jump into it. Physically, man, we are going to give that a solid 5.1. Like, literally, I think it was like the most bare minimum I have felt in a long time. The last time I felt like this was when I had really bad shit going on in my outside life, and that was mostly mental. I destroyed myself in the best way possible. As counterintuitive as it may seem, but mentally, dude, 9.65. It feels like it keeps going up and up, and I don't even mean to get closer and closer to 10, because I know that realistically that will never happen. It's just more my own arbitrary scale where 10 realistically is probably going to be more like what a realistic 8 would be for what I'm actually feeling when you get down to the science of it. But regardless, I really want to get into this because if you know me, if you've been watching, I go on tangents a little bit. I don't mean to, but, just fucking have a little faith in me. I'm going to get to the main point in a second. And I go in circles a good bit, but, there's always a point to it. In the importance that I really want to latch onto today, it's more about not so much how hard I went. And if you saw yesterday's, worked out for 5 hours last night on accident, literally the longest workout I've ever had. I wasn't even working out the whole time, but just being in the gym for that long, it's draining. And so today I had super low energy, and it was just one of those things where it just did not line up well for my body. But that's not what I think is important right now. I think what is so important is my mental score is fucking off the charts right now. And the reason for that is the mindset that I have about this, the discipline, the passion, whatever, all of it. It's what it truly, at the bare bones, deepest part of all this bullshit behind the lifting, behind why I do it, whatever, that is what it takes to truly do a workout with literally zero energy. My first set of squats actually felt horrible. It was terrifying. My warm-ups felt pretty fucking icky, and I got to the first working set and it felt like a fifth set. I was actually worried for the first time in a long time. I have not failed a squat in probably 7 or 8 months, maybe even longer. It's not because I'm not training hard enough or whatever. I just train very efficiently for what I think my body needs, and I go at a very gradual increase in my weight, so I don't rush and I don't get injured. And this wasn't even peak week, and I actually felt like I was going to fail. And one of two things typically happens when this goes on, I think, in most people, and it's either you have the fuck it method, or it's actually... I talk about this a little bit, but I'm studying psychology. I actually learned something called hindsight bias, where people will have gone through something, and when they get that little feeling of deja vu, like I got today from the last time I failed a squat, they'll either A, push through it and really depend on that discipline and their efforts to go the rest of the way that they should go, or what most people do is they get the fuck it method, where they will say, oh, well, I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to fail, and then I'm going to hurt myself, and then I'm going to feel like shit for days, and I'm going to be mad at myself. And that is the most negative, suck-ass, I need attention fucking mindset I've ever heard. If you are telling yourself that in a set, you need to really reevaluate, go to the bathroom, fucking get your shit together, come back a new person. That's really what it's all about. It's knowing that any negative connotations you make about yourself are just a figment of your imagination in that moment. There's always a possibility of anything happening. And what sucks is that so many negatives happen so often now that it becomes normal to feel like that's what's supposed to happen, rather than banking on the discipline and the consistency and the effort and the passion that you've put into whatever you're working on to get yourself the rest of the way. You know, I could have easily put the weights down and been like, man, it feels way heavier than normal. Maybe I should take a rest day because yesterday was way harder of a workout. And I get it. If you feel genuinely like you're going to get injured, that's different. But for me, it was just that deja vu, my own mentality of like, I might fuck up, but it's your choice to decide on whether or not you're going to believe you're going to fuck up or if you're going to believe that you're going to get that shit done. You know, I don't mean to sound like some like fucking preacher of positivity or whatever, but that's literally all it is. You know, I say this a lot, but any negative thing that you come up about yourself is most likely going to be from your own from your own unique mental choices. You know, it's nothing actually tangible. You know, it's all a standard. It's a perspective, you know, and you have your own brain. You can't just compare what you're feeling to the rest of the world if you feel differently about it. So, you know, if you, like, again, it's more about the fact that when you are in that scenario, it's your ability to adapt not to the weights itself physically, like a lot of people will say, because, like, again, that's important. And if your form is shit that day or whatever, that's a whole nother story, especially with Olympic lifting. But what I mean is when you have that really low day, whether or not you have low energy mentally or physically, doesn't matter. Just if you have that bottom of the barrel energy that you can barely latch onto, that's when you really need to adapt the mentality and be like, okay, I can put it down right now and quit, and that's fine. Very on a thin line if you genuinely believe you're going to get injured, because when you make yourself believe you're going to get injured, that phantom knee pain or that phantom shoulder pain is going to hurt a lot more. So I always think that you should at least try and know when to fail. Sure, I'm not saying hit the full set and kill yourself doing it. I'm just saying pick up the weight. You know, literally start by standing with the bar. If you're failing at Olympic lifts, people always tell you to do one high pull and see how it feels and then go for it. You know, just to get that little bit of mental courage. Because it's not just about shifting the hips or getting that mind-muscle connection down or just forcing yourself to get super fucking hyped and get, you know, whatever. It's your own individual, unique source of positivity, you know? And not just like, oh, well, this thing makes me happy, so I'm okay. I mean, like, knowing for a fact that you are going to do everything that you can in that moment. And so if you're convincing yourself you got nothing left, it's a lot of times just you. And I think that, again, like, don't destroy your body for the set. Do what's comfortable for the set. So, you know, if I went down on that first squat and I felt really shitty and I felt like I was actually going to hurt something after attempting, then yeah, I'm gonna drop the weight instantly and go home. But I tried it and it felt like shit, but I picked it up. I did it, and I was like, okay, I got through the first one. Let's try the second one now. And I did it, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I got a little bit more in me than I thought. And I did the third one, and the fourth one, and the fifth one. On the fifth one, I was like, wow, I really thought I was going to fail that. And now I got clean and jerks, so what hope is there left for me? That's like the go-to mindset of like, oh man, well, I may have got through this, but what the hell am I going to do now that I'm fucked and I have all this other shit I need to do? It's just, you're creating your own limits. It sucks. Again, there's always going to be your own human biological limits on everything you do. That's just fucking natural. That's just what you got to accept. But you will never know where you're going to end up. That's the big thing about it. And so when I say you got to know that you're putting everything you have into it, I'm not just saying that just convincing yourself is enough, that you're just like, oh, that was the best I got, whatever. You'll know if you gave it the best you got. It's hard to explain because, again, everybody's brain is different. I can tell you how I feel all day, but that's my own personal experience. It's just a matter of not so much of me telling you what the mindset's supposed to feel like, because everybody's going to feel it a different way. It's more so how you're going to adapt to your own mental constraints in that moment. You know, that's like the biggest thing with people where they will suffer in acting on the opportunities in front of them in life. It's the ability to say, okay, this is really hard and I'm really scared. I'm worried, I don't want to hurt myself, whatever. All these things, all these what ifs that in the current moment don't exist. They only exist when they actually happen. So you should not be worrying about that in the middle of a lift or in the middle of anything you're doing. Again, I say it all the time. This is not just the gym. It's applicable to everything in life. So don't just throw in the fucking towel because you got a little sense of deja vu that you're going to get fucked up and fail at whatever you're doing. Every failure is what makes you better. It's just as simple as that. I know a lot of people will be like, there's no success without failure, but it is genuinely true. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to be okay that you might fail, but you can't let yourself get used to the idea of being okay that you can just throw in the towel whenever you feel like it. Again, that's a whole different issue that I'm not going to get super into, but it's up to you is what I'm saying. Everybody's got a different standard. Someone's 100% can be someone else's 300%, or it can be someone else's 3%. As low as that may seem, that can be someone's individual full effort. But you will not know until you actually pick that shit up and do it. So, just bringing it all together, I told you we're going to kind of just try to meet in the middle at the end of this shit, as we always do. This is not me belittling anyone or telling you what to do. This is my own experience. And not even more than that, surrounding yourself with positive people and positive environments like a gym, like going to a public gym is such a good thing when you allow yourself to just have fun and enjoy the people that you meet and just try to find something new to keep the passion going with. And when you surround yourself with those people that lift you up, you'll see what they go through, I promise. And every time I see this shit, I see it's in myself and it's in the people around me that support me. And you'll know when the people that are supporting you are suffering, because they give you that unequivocal attention, so you want to give it back. At least that's just how I feel. But it's really important to know that set, or that last sentence, that last interview, that last assignment, anything you're doing that you're stressed about, that you don't want to fuck up, that you think you might ruin an opportunity, it's not gonna matter if you don't try. The only thing that matters in the long term of it is how well you can pick yourself up after the fact. That's something that sucks, where something never becomes factual until after it happens. As simple as that may seem to know, when you're in the moment, you're just going to sit there. A lot of people will sit there and be like, damn, I just didn't have it in me. I guess that's all I got. I'm going home. I feel a little icky. Even if you're not going to do the main lifts or with the main workout that you got scheduled for yourself, you can do something. I don't care if it's a 10-minute cardio run, or if it's a couple ab workouts that you normally don't do, or just a little bit of body full mobility stretching. Anything. It doesn't matter how heavy it is. It matters the effort, time, and attention you put into it. And that consistency and that discipline is what makes these horrible, awful, zero energy physical days matter. I'm a big proponent. I'm a big pusher of the belief that every horrible day you have, regardless of the gym or not, the way that you push through it is going to determine on how positive your life will be after, and the upcoming events that will inevitably come up before you when you have to get through that next shit situation or that next shit lift, whatever. You'll pick yourself up right away, and even just maybe, like today, you'll pick up the weight and realize you had more in you than you allowed yourself to believe. So take the limits off mentally for a while, have fun with it. Don't go too heavy. Don't kill yourself with the weights, but enjoy it, do what you feel would benefit you best, and just don't crash out at the last second. Do what you can, do everything that you think you could have done in that moment. That's what's important. So back to the grind. We are still losing weight. I've gone from 218 to 212 or 211. I'm not really too sure, but we're losing weight, which is really exciting. And I've started seeing some muscles striding in a different way, which never happens. I've always been a bigger guy. So, maybe one day I'll put some body change pictures up there, and you guys can see the progress and how it's going. And if you want to join along, have someone to inspire to keep doing it, that's even better, you know? So do what you feel is best for you, and take everything with a grain of salt, you know? It's up to you and how happy you want to be. So just, if you're waiting to make that step, do it now, you know? No one's waiting on you, especially not life. So just take that step, and I promise you, if you're around the people that really, truly care about you, they'll help you pick yourself back up. So that's all I got. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.